Hey guys, kia ora, whakalofa lahi atu, and welcome back to this week's podcast episode. I am so excited to get into this week's podcast. We are still on the relationship series, and today I am speaking to all my single ladies. All my single ladies, all my single ladies. Now put your hands up because I'm talking to you today, you beautiful girl. Even if you are currently in a relationship, I think you still will find benefit in this podcast episode. So keep listening, even if you're in a relationship. This will help you, but it's dedicated, it's specifically thought out for my single ladies. Now, if you're just listening to this podcast or this series for the first time, you need to go back to the last episode where I talked about knowing yourself and your self-worth as well. So you've got to go back because there's a lot of goodness in there, and you've got to have that relationship with yourself before you seek an outside relationship. So listen to that and then come back. So we're at a point where we know ourselves, right? We've done the mahi, we've learned our values, our beliefs, what we like, what we dislike, all the things, right? We're ready to go. My number one question is, what is it that you want in a partner? What would you love? And this is something that I did when I was looking for a partner all those years ago, and I found Mets, and I just list out a list of qualities that I would love in a man. I would love for him to be funny. If I'm not waking up laughing every day, then what's the fucking point, right? So that was one of my main things. Funny, fun, doesn't take life too seriously, right? Honest, trustworthy, all these things. What do you want in a man? And there might even be physical or your appearance and those kinds of attributes and stuff, but I want you to focus on the qualities, what kind of values they have. Do your values align? Because, your top 5 values that you would have listed out and knowing yourself is probably what you want in a partner. For me, my number one value was growth. It's like, if I don't have a partner who's willing to do more, does wants to achieve all their goals and dreams, and that was a little bit of a journey for me in Mets as well, and I've got podcast episodes on that as well. But then I don't want it. I don't want a partner that has no drive and just wants to live a mundane life and just come home, work a 9 to 5, come home and just watch TV or numb out on all these things. It's like, no, we want more. We want to do the best that we can. I want someone to support me and what I do, my goals and stuff like that. So what is it that you want in a partner? I would recommend to literally get out a pen and paper, put on your favorite love songs or whatever it is, and start listing it out. What are the qualities? What values do they need? What kind of job would you love for them to have? What kind of industry? What things would you love them to be interested in? Are they the type that sits there and supports you and listens to you and you feel seen and heard in that relationship? What are all these things? And it's so important, because when you are going out into the world, you know exactly what you want, right? And it comes back to those red flags that kind of come up along the way. You might go on a date and you sit down and you notice that this man just keeps talking over you. You can't get a word in. He doesn't give a fuck about your life. He's not interested. You don't feel seen and heard. You feel shitty afterwards. That's that red flag being like, oh, is he on my list? Are those attributes on my list? Oh, actually, he actually had no qualities on that list that I want. So I don't think I should go on a second date. On to the next one. You're not wasting time mucking around. You're not attracting the wrong type of energy. You're not, you know exactly what you want and you will find it. And I think this is one of the problems, is that we're going out into the world not knowing what we want from a partner. So we're just taking anything. We're like, I want a partner. I want a partner. A person comes along and it's like, cool, I'll just take him and I'll just do this. And you're not like, it's like, no, you need to apply for this role. Show me your resume. Show me your CV, right? I'm interviewing for this role. The dates of the interviews. Oh, are they going to the next level? Are they going to get the job of being the boyfriend or the girlfriend? Or no, actually, no. Your CV doesn't match up, or you interview really bad. Like it was terrible, which was the date, right? Really being like a gatekeeper, a security to the people who are coming into your lives. No, it's not just anyone and everyone that I want to be a partner with. No, I've actually got this criteria. I've got this list of things that I'm looking for. And if you don't have these list of things, then it isn't you. And it might take longer. And I talked about this in the last episode. It might take longer to find your dream man or to find your guy. But would you rather just settle for less, take whatever's first come, first serve, take it, spend the rest of your life with this person and be fucking miserable? Or would you rather wait an extra 5-10 years working on yourself, working on your list of things that you want in a man? And I say working on yourself because how fucking, what's the word? Hypocritical. Hypocrite? How hypocritical if you go out there and be like, I want a man that's got growth and he's fun and he's trustworthy and he's loyal and all these things, and then they come into your life and you're the fucking opposite. It's like you've got to work on yourself first. You've got to be growth and fun, and you've got to be all these values that you're looking for in a man, right? So that's why I say to work on yourself first before you go out into the world, because you're attracting what you are, right? What you think about yourself, you're attracting all those things. So become that person and then start going out into the world as that person. Have your criteria, your list of what you want in a man or woman or whatever, and go out there and start interviewing for the role. Interview for the position. If the red flags arise, be okay to be like, no, instead of just being like, I'm colorblind. It's like, no, red flag, y'all, out. What are your non-negotiables? If growth is your non-negotiable and you know that they don't do anything to be better in themselves, then that's a non-negotiable. That's just cross. One strike, you're out. What things are you willing to negotiate on? And what are like your deal breakers? All those kinds of things. So you really, really need to get clear. And you also need to open that door for it, right? So I remember I went into a psychic actually many, many moons ago. And it's actually crazy because looking back, I was single at the time and I went to her and I was really worried as I came out of a relationship where I was cheated on, and it was just a really toxic as fuck relationship. And I wasn't seeing anyone because I was really, I think, just trying to figure out stuff. And, I asked her about my love life and she was like, oh, so are you looking for someone? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, I just see this door that's closed. It's like your love life is closed off. And she was like, you need to open that door to attract. And I didn't realize it, but I was walking around the world being like, oh, I want to be, I want to find somebody. I want to attract somebody and all the things. But my door was closed. So open that door, be open to it. You might have been hurt in the past. You might have had things happen. And you might need to work on that as well. You might need to work through it and heal through it first, but start opening that door to start attracting. And it's funny because I look back to that psychic. I thought she was crazy at the time, but she was like, you're going to go on a holiday with this guy and all these things. And I thought she was crazy. But I ended up, I was in this relationship. That one was also toxic, but I went on, this trip with this guy that anyways, I was like, it happened, right? So open that door and get out there, get out into the world, however you want to find it. Maybe you want to go on dating apps, but how do you want to attract that person? And you might think of things that you want in a person. So if you want someone with a growth mindset, it might be going to seminars and workshops and stuff like that and finding someone there. If you're very like spiritual, it might be in these spiritual areas. It might be going to church. It might be going to, if it's someone you like that works out, it might be in the gym. Go into these spaces, get out there. If you want to meet them not online, you want to meet them in person, then go and do these things. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to meet my partner in a bar and in a club and stuff like that, but they get dressed up to go out and wear their best dress. They're like, oh, I hope I get lucky tonight. And it's like, what? You're giving mixed signals. So where is it that you want to find the partner? So get out there, start doing all the things. And even so, like when you are on these dating apps, or you're dating in person, I want you to be really clear on your intentions. What are you looking for from the start? If you're on these dating apps, and I hear a lot of women saying like, oh, it's just DTF, just down to fuck, just down to, booty calls, all those kinds of things. If you're not looking for that, be clear with your intentions in the first, oh, I'm actually looking for a relationship. And if they say, oh no, I'm just looking for a booty call, don't try and make that work. Be like, okay, not for me, right? Don't try and start the relationship and do all the things, because what you'll find is they'll get the booty call in you because you'll do all the things. They'll get the um sex, pretty much they'll get it all, and then you'll be like, so what are we? So are we in a relationship now? And they're like, no, I told you from the on the start it was just DTF. And they're like, oh, but I wanted a relationship. And it's like, no, that's on you. That's on you. That's not for you to be like, oh, he played me. He made me think I was going to get something. No, he said from the start, or she said, or whoever said it was DTF. So it's on you to be like, actually, no, that's not what I want. I want a relationship. Next, move on to the next one, right? Be straight up. Communication is so key. So open that communication. Be honest. Give your expectations. Set your boundaries. Look at your compatibility with those people as well. So be really, and if you're working on yourself, you know how easy it is to do, or not easy, but you're in this momentum of setting your clear expectations, your boundaries, what works, what doesn't work. And if they don't want that, then it's like, okay, bye. Like be there's abundance, right? There's many, many men out there. There's so many fish in the sea, as they say, right? So be okay with just like, okay, bye, unblock or block or whatever, or unmatch, and on to the next one. Have that abundance mindset. Don't settle for less. Nah, there's no compatibility there. On to the next. So be really, really straight up. And I think trusting your gut is huge as well. Your body is so fucking smart. And if you know it, sometimes you're at the end of a situationship or whatever, and you're like, fuck, that was a waste of my time, or I can't believe he did that, or she did that, and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, I remember at the start I had this gut feeling, there were all these red flags. And it's like you keep bypassing it. And it's like at the end, you're like, damn, I should have just listened to my gut feeling. I should have seen the red flags and all of that. So trusting that from the start, the red flags, next, that abundance mindset. But also when you're at the end of a relationship, a situationship, I've talked about in the past where I was cheated on. And, at the end of that, I was like, fucker, there were all these red flags. There was all these gut feelings that I stopped feeling, or I numbed out, was like, nah, not feeling it. No, that's not red. I'm sure that's orange. It's amber. It's not a red flag. And it was actually the gut feeling that took me to finding out that in clear in my, I saw it with my eyes, or I had proof that he was actually cheating and stuff. So, but I want you to go to that space at the end, the lesson. There's a lesson there, right? So going to the end and being like, oh, it's my lesson. So my lesson is, next relationship I get into, I listen to my gut. I tune into my intuition and how I'm feeling. I listen to those, or I see those red flags, don't allow it. So thinking about all the lessons from dating that you've had in the past that didn't work out, all the things, and not attracting that again. Because there's this saying, and it's like, you're gonna date the same person over and over again until you learn the lesson. That's with anything in life. I truly, truly believe there's a lesson in everything that you think didn't work out, because you got that experience, right? There was supposed to be a lesson at the end of it. If things didn't work out, there's a lesson. So if you don't get that lesson, and you just keep passing on, going for, oh no, okay, that didn't work, next guy, you're just going to attract same guy till you learn that lesson, right? And it's once you learn that lesson, then you go to the next level. Oh, my lesson there was to listen or trust my gut. tune into my intuition. My lesson there was not to settle for less. My lesson there was actually I deserve more. My lesson there was I need to listen to myself. My lesson there was I need to work on the way I see myself. My lesson there was I need to work on my values. I need to work on my communication. I need to work on, what's the lesson in it? Learn that lesson and then go back. Because if you don't learn that lesson, you're just going to keep going back, dating that same person over and over again, getting the same shitty fucking results. So yeah, you need to you need to learn the lesson and stop dating the same person over and over again, right? And then lastly, I want to close off with this because this podcast episode was actually longer than I thought it was going to be, but it's to be yourself, right? A lot of people at the start of relationships, they become this different person because you want to be your best at those times. But then it goes into you're not even being yourself, right? You're dressing different, you're not showing up. You might be actually really loud and bubbly, but you're like, oh, my friends tell me not to be so loud because I might scare him off or her off. So I'm just going to be quiet and timid. And then you get into this relationship, as this quiet, timid person. And then you feel like you're not yourself, then you start becoming yourself. And then that person's like, wait, what? It's just a totally different person. It's like, you just go through this dating phase of, trying to charm the person and all the things. And then it comes to your real life. It's like, no, be that person from the start. Be the bubbly, positive, or the quiet, or whatever you are from the start. Because you want to make sure that you're attracting the right person. You're not attracting a person who thinks you're someone else. And then when you can't start being yourself, it's like, oh, that's not the person that I wanted. Can you see how that's not fair to either of you? So be yourself from the start. Don't try and be your charming. If you're not a charmer, don't become a charmer. Don't do things just because you think you should do them, because you want to win them over or whatever. And this goes for guys as well. They might want to win you over. So in the start, they're giving you all these flowers and shit like that. It's like, no, you need to be yourself from the start. Who are you from the start? Do you even give flowers? Do you even open doors or whatever? And this goes for guys and girls, So be yourself from the start, so that you're attracting that right person. Be good with yourself. Don't be fucking toxic, because then you're going to attract toxic, right? Be, amazing and lovable and loving and kind and caring, because that's what you will attract, right? I think that's a lot in itself, but I also just want to put it out there. If there are specific questions you have around dating and things like that, please feel free to DM me. I'd love to do more podcast episodes about this, because I have had quite a few clients come through who are trying to find love, who are trying to get into these really loving, amazing relationships. And my first thing is always like, go back to you, know yourself, work on yourself, have self-love for yourself. If you're trying to find love outside, make sure you've got love within you first, so work on that. And then second of all, be very clear. Be very fucking clear with what you want and what you're attracting and all the things. So yeah. And I would love to see more loving, amazing, healthy relationships out there. And I feel like I'm so lucky to have the relationship I had. Not saying that it was easy and all the things. And these were the things that I learned along the way. Some of them I did, some of them I learned along the way, So yeah, it's a little bit of advice given from me to you. But I wish you all the best with your dating life. And please just enjoy it as well. Don't be so like, oh, I just want to find someone. Enjoy the process, right? Because when you find someone and you settle down for the rest of your lives and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you found the right one, or you enjoyed that process. Enjoy it. It's probably the only time in your life where you're going to be dating a bunch of different people and trying all these different things to see what you like and what you don't like. So go on it. Set yourself a challenge to do. There's a chick I watch on TikTok. She's like, she documents her first 50 dates. She's like, date number 1, like 50 dates, because she's trying to find the right person, right? And I think that's awesome, because you go on these dates and you realize what you don't love. Then you realize what you love and what you're looking for, and you know if it's right and if it's not right. And you see these different things out there, and you've kind of played the field, and you know what's available to you and all these things, right? So I think that's also an amazing thing to do, is go out there, go on these dates, have these experiences, enjoy it, have fun, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey of dating and all the things and learning about yourself within it, and thinking, oh shit, I'm actually need to work on this side of me, or I need to do that, or I really love that in that guy but not him because of this, so I'll look for that in another person. You might go on these dates and add things to your list from that date, or take things off the list, like I'm okay to negotiate with that. Well, that's not actually important to me. He needs to be tall, but that guy, I was really attracted to him and he was shorter than me, so that's okay too. Whatever it is, right? So start experiencing, start having fun with it, trust the process, go out there, enjoy all the fucking dates before you settle down with the love of your life, right? Enjoy the process, and make it fun. Sometimes dating's seen as actually, and I would recommend that as well, is to write down if you do have a feeling like inside of you, like, oh, I'm single again, or oh, I hate dating. It's getting clear out what is it that you hate about it. Why do you think, oh, I'm single again? Like, is there a thought behind there where you feel like you're a failure because your last relationship didn't work? What is it? Is it the people around you telling you that you should have a relationship? Is it your mom and dad putting pressure on you to get married? Is it because you're feeling old and society tells you that you should be married by now, or you shouldn't be single at that age, right? Start getting clear on what it is if there is that negative mindset around dating, because if you go out and you start dating people and you've got this negative mindset, you're going to attract negativity, right? So it's clearing the mind, being so good, your spirit, your aura, and all of that is so good that that's what you're attracting, right? You're not that desperate, like, I just want someone so that my fucking family can shut the fuck up and I just have somebody that can come to Christmas and all these things, right? So yeah, I'm sure there's so much more I could talk about, but I love you. Thank you so much for listening. Please DM me on Instagram at soextra___ if you have more questions, if you have any feedback, anything. Love you. Ka kite. Goikia.